Hey guys, over here. Welcome back to another video. We have some news from the developers coming in today, as well as sending us all a brand new gift. You should be able to get access to this gift. I've seen this already. It should pop up on your limited special offers. I haven't seen it just yet on my account. I've seen it on other accounts, and it's just basically some solid rewards like soul stones for summons, and I think like one primal. So have that in mind, it's something for free. But the real thing that I wanted to discuss today is this post over on Discord, where the developers are commenting on the recent changes of the Hydra mechanics and how these will be affecting the game. So let's just have a look at what they've read here. So in appreciation of your feedback and active involvement, we're going to be sending you a gift today. Okay, the gift is not there yet, I think, on my account. Now that the changes have been activated, you've been starting to test things on your own. We'd like to address more pressing concerns. The primary purpose of the introduced rebalance was to bring all players to equal terms in the long run when competing in Hydra class. This will never be the case, if I'm going to be honest, with the game and how the game develops, because obviously you'll never have equality within the game. There's bigger spenders, the +4s, so empowerment, and the awakenings with the 6-star awakenings doing much more damage. One champion with the crushing red awakening does more damage than 3 champions would without any awakening. So there's no discussion right there. We wanted to achieve that by reducing the dominance of particularly overpowered teams via systematic and structural changes that would prevent the arrival of new possible and imbalanced tactics in the future and would put all players in equal footing. So that I'm totally fine with, I understand. Obviously, just eliminating the Trunda and how Trunda works is ideal because Trunda would be doing 130 billion points in Hydra Clash when other teams would be doing maximum 10 billion, and those teams even got nerfed, which is the Yannicka teams with the shields and Wixwell. So clearly all the pre-balanced teams and tactics might appear not as efficient in the new state of things if compared to previous selves. However, many more players now can forward more diverse teams that are able to compete more fairly and compare with each other instead of applying just a few tactics which by far dominated the rest. This is also something I agree with, because I would see sometimes insanity of accounts having 3 versions of the Trunda team, just huge whale accounts having 3 Trunda teams basically, which lead to insane amount of points. I do think you need diversity in the game. So speaking of that, I'm totally in for it. So speaking of Trunda, we still want her to remain good and valuable, maybe one of the best, but not just overpowered. However, if she remains too strong against the Hydra, even after the rebalance, we're ready to consider further changes to her. I don't think she's going to be that great to the Hydra. There's still some people who did manage to use her, and this is addressed in the next sentence here. We admit some players managed to fight Hydra under the old pre-balanced rules, but what they say here is they couldn't just reset this. They couldn't do a reset to the Hydra Clash, as this would cause many more problems than just letting it go for the next week. So basically, that's what they're doing. And also, due to some bugs in AI behavior, champions might now perform rather poorly against Hydra on auto, like not targeting an exposed neck or a head that they just enchantment by default. So what they said they were fixing, they said they were creating, they failed to do so. They might have done even worse job on this. So I don't know what it. So let's just go and have a look at the remaining things. Rebalance is a necessary part of the game, as complicated as raid. Sometimes bosses might become a bit more and sometimes a bit less challenging to fight, like in the case of Iron Twin, Span of Sugar, and Sand Devil, but the changes we introduce are directed at making battle mechanics more consistent in the long run. In the case of the Hydra in particular, it requires a few more Hydra resets for us to evaluate the state of things, and it doesn't reach the desired balance of a large swath of players in the long term. We're ready to make further tweaks. What I think needs to be the change here, guys, is just basically introducing some sort for players who got really affected by this, by just not being able to any longer reach the 1.2 billion if they were close to that because of Trunda, because of Yannicka maybe, or Shield teams, then maybe they should address that instead. Maybe creating more mechanics that will introduce higher damage dealing teams and not introduce only champions that are voids that do insane amounts of damage. I would like to see maybe some fusions coming in the future that are high damage dealers for the Hydra. I'm not talking about the Thor, which we recently had. but I'm just talking more champions coming in the future. Epics as fusions, much easier fusions for players to do rather than legendary fusions. So having epics as part of fusions, or having epics as an additional reward to normal fusions, that epics are solid enough that we can, maybe if we put another bit of effort, we can pick up the fusion legendary and then an epic to help us beat the Hydra. So that's what I would love to see within the game coming in the future. In terms of just Hydra overall, I don't think many players concerned with how Hydra works, so much so that they're so disappointed. But Hydra has become really the content of Raid in the past year, maybe year and a half or so, because of Hydra Clash. I don't see many players caring so much anymore about the Doom Tower. This has been content since 2019. Curse City has been a failure in terms of content, if I'm gonna be honest, because there's not much in terms of how players would like to see in terms of this content. This is very limiting content with very specific stages. So unless you have very specific teams, you can't see this. So Hydra is really the only thing that extends players' attention in terms of the different teams that are possible to do a lot of damage. And Siege is also something that is basically few more PvP fights with more restrictions, like the Cursed City, since we have restrictions basically on which teams to use in which specific areas. So that was the video for today, guys. I just wanted to go over this news announcement by the developers, since it's posted on Discord. Not many players have access to Discord or care enough to read this whole thing, but also might want to hear some feedback coming in from the content creators, from players who are more seasoned and maybe are like a voice of the community in a sense. So that's it for today. Thank you all, guys. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.